What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. One of the big things that we always talk about on this channel is like alchemy, right? Like just mental alchemy and using the Kybalion as a very solid foundation to a point of reference in a lot of the things I speak about. And the reason is because a lot of entrepreneurship just has to do with raising your mental clarity, like raising the vibrations in your frequency as a human being to be able to operate under stress, to be able to operate under a large amount of stress. I mean, that's pretty much what 90% of being an entrepreneur is. Even if you work a W-2 type of job, you're still an entrepreneur. Like you really are. You really own your own business. You kind of have a personal brand when you're in sales, because ultimately in sales, if the product sold itself, you really wouldn't be necessary to a company. Does that make sense? So the reason why you have a sales job is because they need you to sell your personality in harmony with their products, right? And if it's not as much as like a play on yourself, just think, you have to be able to be a good teacher. Please, as we go through the content in this video, I want you guys to be constantly thinking about somebody. Just think about somebody. And if this applies to somebody, your main goal should be to change the way that you view yourself. And just know, man, that person, if you love them, they're going to change too when they see you change. But it starts within. Now, looking at the whiteboard, what I have is a list. And in the left quadrant, you have selfish. Then on the right quadrant, we have selfless. And in the middle, we have just a list of everyday acts. What do you think working too much? Where would that fall under? Most of you guys would say it falls under selfishness. Being selfish, working too much. That could lead to spending time alone, or just not spending time with loved ones, with family. So you could also call that selfish, right? How about not eating sweets? Like that's a weird one. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, not eating candy. A lot of times my wife's dad, so my father-in-law, will swing by and he'll bring the kids like little treats. You know what I mean? Like little Halloween candies and Reese's buttercups and stuff like that. So he does that, but not eating sweets. What do you mean the kids ain't gonna get no candy? That's selfish, right? Doing what everyone else wants. A lot of you guys would say that's selfless, right? Just doing what everybody else wants to do. Hey, Anthony, you want to go play basketball? Hey, Anthony, do you want to go to the restaurant? Hey, Jim, do you want to go to the bar? And you're just in agreement with everybody, right? Doing what everyone else wants. That's selfless, a lot of people would say. What about always being in agreement, right? Like being a yes man. Always in agreement. A lot of people would say that's selfless. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings, especially if you care about them. What about spending money on others, right? A lot of you guys would say, hey, dude, you know what? Let's buy this person this bottle, right? Let's give this person 20 bucks, right? Hey, this person needs help with their bills. They can't pay their rent. A lot of you guys watching this video would say that that is a selfless act. What alchemy does, it literally switches your perspective, flips it upside down on your head, and it shakes you up. So I'm going to attempt to do that in this. We're going to put all of these variables in their perspective opposites, right? So let's do that. What about working too much? A high vibrational being, 9 times out of 10, they're doing activities that are going to help the community that they're a part of, which unfortunately, guys, it requires a lot more time for them. So a high vibrational being would say that's a selfless act, right? Spending time alone is a selfless act. You have to spend time alone if you're going to dedicate your life to a bigger purpose outside of yourself, right? But that requires you to really sit with yourself, to sit with your thoughts, right? It requires you to tap into habits and create new neurons and pathways in your brain cell. Like if you're not used to waking up super early, you have to wake up super early, spend that time alone and grind it out in the gym. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time alone to be able to create these habits, right? Here's another habit: not eating sweets, right? Selfless. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is sacrifice. And honestly, not eating sweets is not a sacrifice. I truly believe that like a sacrifice means that you're giving something up of benefit or equal value, right? So a sacrifice would be like to sacrifice something good in place of something else good. Not eating sweets, guys, it's not a fucking sacrifice. I hate to break it to you. It's not a sacrifice, okay? It's a level up. That's what we're talking about. It's a freaking level up. Doing what everyone else wants. Selfish or selfless? Doing what everyone else wants. I would say selfish. I would say doing what everyone else wants to do, you're selfish because you don't want the confrontation, right? You're only going along with the sheep because you're too afraid to make a decision for yourself, right? What about always in agreement? Hey, it's kind of the same thing, guys. You're just always agreeing with everybody around you because you're afraid to ruffle some feathers. You're afraid to give people a new perspective, and you kind of want the admiration. You kind of want their likability, right? You want to be the person that's like, oh, I enjoy having this person around because they never disagree with me. Guys, that's the most selfish thing you guys can do, especially if you know a better way to do something. What more in the world is selfish than someone who knows a better way to do something but doesn't help others by, even if it ruffles the feathers, by just doing the right thing, okay? Spending money on others, right? This is a freaking big one. Spending money on others. I know so many people, right? So many people that will shoot someone 20 bucks when they ask, shoot someone 40 bucks, right? Drop half the money on their rent, right? Like sometimes people will put themselves in a fucked up situation and then look to you to help them dig out themselves out of that grave. But now they know, hey, look, I can go back to this person so I can continue to make these same mistakes. Don't block someone's blessing because you feel like it's the right thing to do, right? I'm gonna tell you what the right thing to do is. And this is the only way that you guys can help your friends and your family who truly freaking need your help. I'm not talking about, 20 bucks, they're maybe a day or two late on the rent, or they just need help with lunch. Man, that's, it is what it is, right? We always help people out when we can. But wouldn't it feel much better to give someone their life back, to show them that it's possible to liberate themselves from all of the things that plague them in life, right? So this is how you do that, guys. This is the most important thing. Work on yourself first. Where does that fall? Selfish or selfless? Another perspective change. You guys might be shocked to learn this, but to work on yourself first, you can only be selfless if you're truly working on yourself, right? I'm gonna give you guys an example. There's a parent who doesn't spend a lot of time with their kids, okay? Now, this parent that is not spending time with the kids starts spending more time with the kids in the family, right? Now, are they the person that is providing those kids with a good example, right? Are they the person that's going to show up for the kids in a meaningful way? Or are they the person that's going to show up for the kids and show them bad habits, show them, negative mindsets, right? Are they going to show up for the kids with resentment, like, oh, I'm only here because, your mom said I needed to spend more time with you, right? And that goes for anything, guys. So before you can actually show up the proper way for the people that you love and that you care about, you have to spend the time with yourself. You have to develop the person who will be beneficial when they're around. When you leave a room, you want people to say, man, I enjoy their presence because I learned so much from them. Man, I enjoy their presence because they genuinely care. You can sense it when you're spending time in places and areas that you're forced to spend time in, if you're not personally developed, right? And that's why it's important to stick with the routines and stick with the habits that build you into the character you need to make sure the people around you succeed, right? So guys, you have to become the person, right? You have to become the person that is going to set the good examples for your family, set the good examples for your kid, right? You have to become the person that will show up to work every day. Hope this helps some of you guys. Let me know if in the comments if there's any videos you guys want to see in specific. As always, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll holler at you guys. Let's get it. I adopted a formula.